Hello again. Hello everybody. How we doing? I fixed the audio because I got a new microphone. It isn't entirely reliable. I just found it lying around. So the reason why these clips weren't in the original video is because these were all from these are just clips of like the Kuromori Mine and the VK45, like the little of the VK45.3. And yeah, I did originally, I think it was 90 minutes of footage originally, but then when I was like sitting down to like get it together, I realized, oh no, actually, it isn't 90 minutes. Like the stuff that's usable is only like 20 or something. So yeah, I have mostly just condensed it down to that. So the reason why I had these why I had like this footage was because like I cannot for the life of me remember what exactly the goal was, but well, no, I know what the goal was, but like I can't remember what the plan was. The goal was to like, you know, make a video, not like a Unicum guide or something, but just like a video on the Kuromori Mine and the VK45.3. And so like how I usually record these, you know, those videos is that I will just like get a tank, right, and I will then sit down with it and just record for like an hour. Like this is how I recorded like basically every Unicum guide. It was just get the tank and then sit down with it and record for like live gameplay for like an hour, and then just like edit that together, use the clips, and you know, put the clips together, put the visuals together. I would usually get the script before I got the gameplay. Like I remember once there was a time where I had it like down to like I would release a new Blitz Unicum guide like every Tuesday or something. But I can't remember the exact frequency, but it was every week. And I would literally like hit upload on the video, and then I would be writing the script for the next guide, like, you know, the same day. And then I would, you know, get the footage like maybe on like the Wednesday or the Thursday, and I would edit it on like the Friday and the weekend, and then it would be uploaded by, you know, Monday or Tuesday or something like that. And when I was recording the footage, it was very consistently just like because I recorded them all on like my MacBook Air at the time, my MacBook Air laptop. Because I was in high school at the time. You gotta remember that. I was a high school kid. I was like, what, 16, like 15 or 16 years old, I think. And I do look back and I watch those videos and I do cringe a little bit. But I am also like remarkably surprised at like how much some of it has stood up. And it like doesn't, like, I don't completely hate it. A lot of it, you know, a lot of those jokes were, you know, just copied from Phantom, or like, you know, inspired by Phantom, the guy who made the original Unicum guides for PC World of Tanks. I do think a lot of like those jokes and the sort of like the style of the videos is very much a product of its time, which was like the late 2010s. And part of the reason why I just, you know, stopped making them was because I just thought the format was dead. You know, I'd made like, what, 45 of them, something like that. And I was just bored of doing it. I didn't really care anymore. I'd also sort of lost interest in World of Tanks Blitz as a whole, and I moved on to playing War Thunder instead. But yeah, my basic, like, my basic rhythm was to just sit down with a tank, record it for like an hour, maybe. Usually like an hour or less. I think the shortest was like maybe half an hour or something. And then I would just like you know, I would record that in QuickTime Player and I'd put it into iMovie, and yeah, that was basically it. That was how it went. That was how it went. That was how the sausage was made. That was the magic. And so yeah, I like had this footage for like a Kuromori Mine video, and you know, that just never materialized. What was it supposed to be for? Couldn't tell you. What was I going to do with it? No idea. I'm pretty sure this was recorded like in October of 2022. So like a recurring theme I noticed when I was like chopping up the footage was that there was a lot of these Medjays, you know, that tank right there, the, you know, fantasy version of the Excelsior, which I'm disappointed that the Excelsior has been power crept so much, because it was a really good tank. I liked it a lot back when there was you know, more stuff in low tiers. You know, like the Excelsior was a pretty good tank to have, because it had like really good frontal armor and really good rear armor as well. Like that was the Excelsior's main appeal, was that it had like the same armor on the rear as it had on the front. And now, because like they removed basically everything from, you know, low tiers, it's kind of pointless. So, you know, rip. But yeah, good times with that. Over time, eventually, like part of the reason why I just got bored of making Unicorn guides is because the style of the videos just didn't interest me anymore. Like I considered it like beating a dead horse. You know, it was, you know, the Swift Phantom had not made any for years by the time that I had stopped, and you can also see like his like style of humor and editing heavily influenced a lot of the other videos I've made about World of Tanks at the time, which is basically just, you know, snarky commentary as like text on screen, and then like, you know, putting in memes and jokes on screen as well as visual gags with like some sort of fitting song over the background. The part of the reason why I wanted to record the VK45.3 video was because, you know, it was basically just I had an idea to like make something very similar to, like, you know, Swift Phantom's. The video was going to be called Pretzel Panzer, but it was supposed to be similar to his Swift Phantom's videos where he's got like the German yodeling guy, like Franz something, who, you know, passed away like, oh god, it's been 10 years ago now. Franz Lang, I think it was. But yeah, that never materialized, so, you know, I'm just putting them in this video instead. But my editing style also got, like, the way that I wanted to edit videos and the way I wanted to make videos did change significantly, and sort of evolved into something that I liked. One of the videos that I'm the most proud of, that unfortunately doesn't have nearly as many views as I wish it did, is like Starman's Imperial Wonderland, which I made heavily inspired by the Okay, it took me a while, but I did finally find it. The channel name is Zataris. Yeah. So a lot of his videos had like really high energy, really fast paced, lots of quick cuts, and they're all like, you know, very similar to like the ones that I had like been inspired by from the Phantom or whatever, but like much more intensive, much more high energy, as I said. Lots of incorporations of like memes and things like that. And when I was making like Starman's Imperial Wonderland, it's basically just me trying to make a Zataris video, I suppose. That was really the goal, to try to make a video in that style, and I do still want to. I do still, like, you know, just today I had, well, no, not today, like a couple days ago I had an idea for a video that I think I think would be like cool to make in that sort of style. Will that ever come to be? I don't know. I have a basic idea for it. There's still some parts that we need to fill in before it actually gets out there and gets uploaded. I would like to. Hopefully it does. Yeah. So, that's sort of how the process works. Like, I don't just, I don't just like make, slop that I go like, yeah, fuck it, good enough, I'll just phone it in. I do admit there were a couple of Unicum guides I made that were admittedly, phoning it in, because I just I didn't really care. And I was just like, fuck it, we'll get it out, who cares? They'll all get 3,000 views anyway. And a lot of the time I wasn't really giving a guide that was specific to that vehicle. I admit a lot of it was just very basic sort of World of Tanks advice. And yeah, okay, here's the features of this specific vehicle, here's what you should and shouldn't do, yada yada yada. Don't be an idiot. That was more or less it for a lot of those guides. But you think that people would figure that out on their own, but surprisingly, no, not the case. Yeah, this is, very rare. Wow, okay, Starman has uploaded a video, for the second time in less than a month. Wow, stop the presses. I get it, but I have sort of had an idea for making videos for a while, just not really wanting to make World of Tanks videos anymore, and not really World of Tanks splits. I still log into the game eventually. I'm gonna be from time to time, every so often. Not very often, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Mostly because I've just completely ditched it in favor of War Thunder, because it's more realistic and it has better stuff, and I just like it more. Yeah, I also don't use iMovie anymore. I use more. I have been using more comprehensive editing software for a while. iMovie is very limited if you're familiar with that. You can't even do something as basic as put text on screen without a transition. And there's no audio mixing or anything like that. The main advantage I do think of editing something on a Mac is that for whatever reason Windows kicks up a massive hissy fit if you use a .mov file, and so you have to convert it to .mp4, which is really annoying. And it was one of the reasons why this just didn't get made for so long, partly because I didn't have the idea to, and partly because I didn't really know how to get these 3 gigabyte video files off my laptop and onto my PC. I've been using Adobe Premiere for a while. Well, I did use Adobe Premiere for a while, but I never paid for it, because I just leached off of a university subscription, and I'm too stupid to figure out how to pirate it. So I asked for something similar, and I was pointed towards Kdenlive, which is basically just a free open source version of Premiere, and I've been using that for the past couple of videos, and that's been doing well. I should not have bounced that shot. That was dumb. Yeah. So I do still want to make videos related to tanks and stuff like that, just not in World of Tanks anymore. I just immensely prefer War Thunder, which is a whole can of worms, because oh my god, War Thunder is not in a very good state right now. It's okay, it's good, but it's there's obviously problems with it. I don't think anyone is really denying that. But that game has also introduced me a lot to history, and it's gotten me a lot more interested into the history of tanks, and also fighter planes and ships as well. So I do want to make stuff like that for this channel. If you've ever seen the channel Spookston, he is also a bit of an inspiration for the kind of things that I would like to make in terms of like his historical videos. I don't know if he'll ever, you know, be able to put out videos at the same rate as I did, you know, once before. I'm not, you know, Penguin Zero. I can't, you know, make videos daily. But I do want to like get back to, you know, posting more often. Like the aim for me has always been quality over quantity. I want to like make something that I'm proud of and something that is actually good. Something that other people would want to watch, something that I would want to watch. I mostly make these videos because I want to make them, and that was part of the reason why I stopped making, you know, Unicum guides, because I just didn't feel like it. I didn't care. I didn't, you know, my heart wasn't in it anymore. Even though it was what people wanted to watch, it wasn't what I wanted to watch. It wasn't what I was interested in. I just didn't care anymore. So I stopped. That was why. But yeah, I do want to like pivot towards making, you know, stuff about War Thunder, and also making stuff that's like tangentially related to tanks and military industry and things like that, because I've always been like incredibly interested in history. I have a humanities degree. It's in you know, what my degree is in politics and creative writing, I think, which I know is a hell of that's a hell of a degree to have. And yes, I am having trouble finding employment, but you know, I'm still looking. You know, the saying is starving artist for a reason. Yeah, I do, you know, want to make these videos, and I can't speak to like how often they'll be out, other than they'll be out when they're ready. And yeah, you know, I hope people like them. That's all I can really say. So yeah, if you have been here for a while and you've sort of wondered, oh hey, he uploaded again, well, maybe you'll like the new stuff. I hope you stick around. It would be so nice to see you all again, to hear from you all again. It might be different. Maybe you might like it too. You know, and if you don't, well, that's okay. That's fine. I'm not your dad. Do what you like. Oh yeah, video essays. That's another thing that I watch a lot these days. Maybe I have a second channel that's mostly dedicated to like political shit posting. There's a link in the description if you want to see that. But I'll probably mostly post, you know, video essays on that channel if you're interested, and maybe every now and then there'll be like a non-political sort of video essay. Well, you know, non-political. Of course it's going to be political, but it will be about something related to, you know, tanks and shit, instead of like, you know, the colonization of Australia or something like that. So yeah, there'll be a link in the description for that. I am currently like having to go through a process of like sort of relearning how to make videos and stuff like that. Like, I did have to teach myself how to like mix audio to fix the sound in the last video, and I have sort of like had to get around, oh god, like recording software and audio software, and you know, maybe getting a proper mic. I'm just lucky that, you know, my little brother just wasn't using this one, and it seems to be working well. So, you know, I have things. I've also got to like, you know, revamp the channel, like how it's set up and thing and all that, because I've been using that banner image since I was, I think I made that when I was in year 9, when I was like 15 or 14 or something like that. Yeah, it would have been 14, I think. And it's not very well done, so, you know, I'll have to fix that. But yeah. Wow, finally, those clips are done. I was never really going to do anything with them, so it's good to finally get rid of them and just have them out there. So, you know, thank you for watching. The next video that I have planned is, I'm in the process of getting footage for it. Hopefully I'll be able to get it out when it's ready. I am aiming for the end of the month, maybe. the end of the month or sooner. So, no promises, but like that's the goal. But yeah, the new videos will come when they are ready, and I hope you like them. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.